it's Charity from ALoopandaHook, and today I wanted to do a Q&A on crocheting. I asked some of you guys on Facebook if you guys had any questions to ask me about crocheting, and you guys did. I have made a list of the questions and we'll try to go through them. First question today is, what got me interested in crocheting? I really did it because Mom was doing it and Grandma did stuff like that, and it looked like something fun, and I was always that crafty girl who always wanted to do like all the crafty stuff. That was just me, and so I figured there's another thing I could do. I had loomed before. I used a loom and I liked that. I decided that I'd learn how to crochet. The next question is, did I teach myself crochet? No, I really didn't. I mean, I sort of did it once I got up into the harder stuff. I did, but I just had a book to read from, so that's how I learned that. But in the beginning, I had my mom and grandma and some of my friends at church help me get started, and after that I just had the snowball effect where I just kept learning stuff and reading stuff from books. So that is pretty much how I learned to crochet. Next question is, what is my favorite thing to crochet? I really like crocheting simple things. I don't like crocheting like giant projects. I can do them, but they aren't nearly as fun. But the one thing I really enjoy making is a poncho, a collar neck poncho. Someone on Etsy asked me to make them one about a year and a half ago, something like that. And I initially didn't really want to do it because it was a pattern I had to buy and I just didn't feel like doing it. But I talked to Mom and everything, and she said you should just go do it, and then if you don't like it, well, you just finished it anyway, and then just don't use the pattern again. I made it and I really enjoyed it. While I was crocheting the poncho, I showed it to this one lady at our church who is an avid crocheter and knitter, and this one other guy at my church saw it and he ordered one for his mom. So while I was working on that down at the emergency squad, someone else saw it and wanted to get one for his girlfriend. So I have just like sold them to different people who've seen me making them for other people. It's been actually really fun making those, so that would probably be my #1 item to make. The next question is, what is my favorite yarn? I have a lot of favorite yarns, and I did a video on that, so I will put the link for that video in the description below so you guys can check that out if you are interested in seeing what my favorite yarns are. One of you guys asked me what is my favorite crochet stitch to use, and I would have to say that's a double crochet just because it works up fast, it looks nice, and that's my primary stitch I use in most of my patterns. That would probably be my favorite crochet stitch. The next question is, how long does it take to make each item? That varies from item to item. Like with my ponchos, it takes like 6 days of really hard work into it, or a lot longer if I don't put as much work into it, but a pair of washcloths can take like 2 hours to make. It just varies on what type of yarn I'm using and what the project is, because washcloths aren't the same as a poncho and there's a different degree of difficulty in them. It varies. I can finish about one project every day. So the next question I got asked is, how long have I been crocheting and selling? So I started crocheting when I was about 10. I started crochet, or my grandma tried to show me how to crochet when I was about 6, but I just did not want to do it, so I just stopped doing it. But then when I was about 10, I started to learn again, and I picked it up that time. I've been crocheting for about 6 years now, and I started my Etsy shop about 4 years ago. I've been selling and crocheting for a while. I have quite the pattern collection that I go to. Even though I don't use that many patterns, I still have a lot of patterns that I like and I will use sometimes. I will put in the description below a Pinterest board full of some of my crochet patterns that I really like. The last question today is, how do I make my crocheted washcloths? Well, they're fairly easy to make because they're just chains, single crochet and double crochet, and I can make them pretty quickly, so I keep my store fairly well stocked in those because they sell fairly quickly. In the description below, I will leave a link for the blog post for how to make those crocheted washcloths, so that if you are interested in making the washcloths, you can check that out and you can make your own washcloths. thank you guys so much for watching my Q&A video. If you have any questions that you want me to answer that did not get answered today, drop them below and I will try to answer them in a future Q&A video. And in the comments below, also let me know how you are doing with all your crochet projects. So we'll see you for our next video.